Welcome to Silver Aged. We are a brand new channel, and today our first introductory topic is going to be Section 31 that Paramount is releasing on January 24th of this year. Not a lot has publicly come out from Paramount other than a teaser trailer and a little noise here and there. So there's a lot of speculation over everything. So I'm asking the basic questions I think you want to know, and I'm trying to answer those. I'm also going to add some theory to these basic questions. The basic questions are why, who, what, when, and where. And I'm going to use as context the methodology and the canon that is built on the Star Trek universe. And we'll talk about the different universes in a moment, and leverage that, weave that together with events that have occurred with one of the lead characters that's going to be in Section 31 on TV. So I'm going to delve into those first with where, then we'll go when, what, who, and whys. I hope you find this interesting. Please subscribe. Where, the big question about where is what universe are we in from Star Trek perspective? Star Trek has some different timelines, different universes since they originally started back in the 1960s, the episodes that came out in that timeline. And those timelines that those Star Trek started with, which we a lot of it referred to as TOS, go from basically the 2150s through Picard we saw on the Discovery Channel for 2402. But what we really want to focus on is the time frame that TOS was in place, the original episodes forward. And so the question is this universe that Section 31 now is going to be set in going to be in the original universe, the TOS universe, which was called the Prime, or is it actually going to be physically in the mirror universe, which I don't think it will be, but I think it does touch upon the mirror universe, and that basically is the anti-hero aspects of our hero characters in the Star Trek universe. And then there's an alternative universe called the Kelvin universe that was created downstream. And I don't think any of this is going to be in the Kelvin universe. The Kelvin universe basically occurred when the USS Kelvin was destroyed, and this occurred before we had the actual TOS original episodes of Kirk and company, and then we get the movie ones, which caused the Kelvin episodes. And then there was an offshoot alternative universe called Discovery. And Discovery it may or may not be part of the actual Star Trek universes, although it does impact this kind of importantly, because one of the main characters in Section 31 comes from that Discovery-ish universe. So looking at piecing the threads together, it strongly appears that the where is going to be the original TOS universe, which incorporated Enterprise, original Enterprise, the TOS, which was Captain Kirk. The original Enterprise was Archer. Obviously, TNG, which is Picard, the Next Generation. Then Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Lower Decks, the animated cartoon, Picard. And there is a Prodigy thing, but that happens a little bit further on down the time frame. So right now, from our perspective, we strongly believe the universe we're in is the Prime universe, which Kirk and company that we grew up with. Now, for the when question, that gets more intriguing and interesting because you have to put together some threads of things that may be sitting out there in Paramount's press releases for Section 31. And then try to put against those actual timelines when things have occurred. And one of the things that was one of the kind of press releases, it was indicated that they wanted this Section 31, Paramount and the producers wanted it to focus on the years after the original Star Trek, which was the Captain Kirk one, which would have been the time frame of 2265 Earth years, and occur before the Next Generation, which was in the 2365 to 2370 range, which would also probably include the Voyager aspects through 2378 Earth years. And the reason they wanted to do that, from my understanding, is they wanted to make sure technology wasn't too bizarre and too wild like it was in the Discovery aspects when they went out 900 years in the future and introduced new technologies that don't seem to be practical. However, that might be kind of interesting because one of the main characters in here, Georgiou, I think actually has knowledge about what happened 900 years in the future. So we will touch upon that, but that's where I think the when is. And I hope you're liking the video so far. Please indicate you like this and subscribe to us. Now, the next one is what? What is Section 31? I think the best way to look at Section 31 in the Star Trek mythology and the context of fictional novels, sci-fi, maybe even perhaps, I wouldn't say necessarily the real world, but I think if you look at some of the movies in that, I think they're comparable to like Kingsman or the NID from Stargate, the Night Watch from Babylon 5, the Psycorp from Babylon 5, Division from the short-lived spy thing that was the current time frame of Nikita. And then, of course, in the Star Trek world, there's the Tashiar and the Obsidian Order. Tashiar is Romulans, and the Obsidian Order is Cardassian. So they are a unknown, quietly defined section of Star Trek that they were created under Article 14, which I'm not really going to get back into when the actual Star Trek Federation was created with Vulcan and everybody, all the other original planets. And under Article 14, there was Section 31, who basically, that section basically created the ability to create a covert black op organization that really reported no one, that would do the dirty deeds, to keep everything pristine, have utopia being present without anyone getting their hands dirty, although we know we do have some battle wars and all that kind of stuff. And that, I think, is one of the important things to strongly understand about Section 31. Now, Section 31 also has some unique aspects. They really did not appear at first until Deep Space Nine, the episode Inquisition, and that would have been back in the time frame of I have to double check this, 2374, 2375. So this is after the first couple of years of Next Generation with Picard and company. Now, the Who. Now, that's where it really gets interesting and maybe very, very complicated in what we're going to see in this movie that's coming out from Paramount on the 24th. Basically, the key here is the main character is going to be Philippa Georgiou. She was an emperor in the Mirror universe who was definitely a personification of evil. She probably made Attila Hun and Genghis Khan look like children. She relished destroying her enemies, vaporizing opposition, killing people off. In that universe, to advance through the ranks, you basically killed off, assassinated your leaders above you to get your positions, which she basically did at a really young age. I think she was late teens when she did her thing to become the Emperor. And she has this very long title. And she was introduced in Discovery, which is sort of an alternate universe, which at this moment, we do not know if it's part of Star Trek canon or not. There's theories out there at this point in time in Lower Decks, the final episode, that there were things in there that kind of said that really isn't part of the Star Trek universe. But the Discovery component basically happened around the same time frame that Pike originally took over the Enterprise and was running the Enterprise, which would have been before the Cage episode, if you are familiar with Cage, from the original Star Trek episodes back in the 60s. Now, she got involved, and she was actually part of Section 31 for a couple years, and actually a year, I'll take that back, for a year, before they discovered that Section 31 was being controlled by AI. Now time for the why. The why, that's a lot of speculation, guesswork, putting threads together from the mythology, a little bit what's sitting out there on the internet from Paramount. By the way, I'm not being paid by Paramount. I want to clarify that completely at this moment. This I'm doing on my own accord because of my love of the Star Trek franchise universe, and I think I'm very, very hopeful that this Section 31 is going to get us back on the right track again. I know we potentially have another movie coming out, which will be under the Kelvin universe we referred to before. However, what's important about the why at this point is Philippa Georgiou, who is now set to wherever we are time frame wise, which I believe is in the Prime Universe by Carl from The City on the Edge of Forever, the Guardian of Forever. He put her through a test of character to see if she learned a lot from her time being in the Prime Universe and the future Discovery Universe in 900 to basically rebuild herself morally, get a different compass on how to handle everybody instead of slicing and dicing everybody. And I think this whole Section 31 component now is really associated with her redeeming herself. I hope you've enjoyed this. Talk about a lot of methodology. This channel is going to be focused on, past mythologies of other similar type things, how they help build today's worlds, movies, novels, etc., comic books, etc. We're going to be dealing on those topics. So please like us and please subscribe. Have an awesome day, and let's see what this thing looks like on the 24th, and we'll be back with our comments and feedback at that point. Take care.